Hello, hello. You are here for part one of the energy and frequency of abundance. And what we're going to do in this series is I'm going to explain kind of like the metaphysics of how this works. And I'm going to teach you some really practical ways to get started in like the energy behind creating a life of abundance. And I studied manifestation for probably a decade. And one of the major problems I found in how that work is kind of taught is that a lot of times the manifestation, once you're at the level of being able to like write a book or teach a course about it, things are so simple because you're energetically clear, right? And when you're first getting started in this, that is not true. And we really need some starter practices to be able to actually do this, like actually do it. Most people can't actually do it. So in this first video, what I'm going to explain is how the manifestation kind of comes to be. I'm going to explain also like the one biggest problem, and this gives context, and it also gives you, when you understand what I'm talking about, you're going to know whether or not you're like doing the work right, if you will. Like if you're creating what you mean to create, I guess is the better way to put it. So in this video, that's what we're going to do. All right. So let's get into this. All right. So when we study manifestation, people talk about the law of vibration, and that each thought has a vibration and each emotion has a vibration, and that the universe gives us the vibration that matches. Now, that's a concept that most people who've been studying this like get, right? We get that. Where that's like where the difficulty comes in is that your body is what reads the vibration. And so if you're not trained on how to read a vibration, you can mentally do the practices, but the point of doing a practice, right? The point of doing energy work is that you're going to direct your mind to go to a place, right? You're going to choose the thoughts that are going to get you to a place that feels a certain kind of way. That inner experience then sends the signal out to the universe, and then the universe sends an experience back. So mentally, now listen, you can have an experience without necessarily doing a lot of mental work, right? You can have the experience of your day. The trouble with that is that then you're going to be creating from what you've already done, which is like what literally the most of the people in the world are constantly doing. Is the experiences that they've been having are the experiences that they continue to have. Because that inner, like, it's like their outer experience then creates a feedback, the outer experience creates the inner experience, creates the outer experience. And if nothing changes, then nothing changes. So, and what we're doing here is we're taking our mind and we're going to a different place in our imagination that feels different than our current life, right? It's going to feel different. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to stay there long enough to create a different inner experience. Now, with that different inner experience, now I'm talking imagination realm, I'm talking energetic realm, I'm talking in your body neurochemical cocktail realm. So when we're here in this new experience, what happens is we get new thoughts because we're in a different place vibrationally. So there's thoughts that are available here that aren't available here. And then our frequency changes. And if you give this enough practice, what ends up happening is your body gets used to feeling different, which as you progress in this kind of work becomes really important, because when we get an experience that's wildly different than what our body's used to, a lot of times we're going to fuck it up. We're going to self-sabotage. Just because it's so different, and the mind, the body, the heart, the emotions, all of our little human self loves what's familiar. We want to become familiar with this different kind of feeling. All right. And these practices, essentially the process that we're going to be doing is we're going to be using our mind to either observe, acknowledge, pour our energy on purpose, like direct our attention. Right. So we're going to be using our mind. And the purpose of how we do that is to create an inner experience. Now, when I'm saying an inner experience is I'm talking your state changes. You feel different than how you started. And good, more or less, right? Now, when you do that and you stay there, without having to do anything other than feel good, you send a frequency. It's like your little radio tower sends the message out to the universe, and then the universe sends you a matching experience. Now, do you get to pick what that is? Not really. But it's going to start to have the same emotional signature is what I would call it. It's going to feel similar or the same. Okay, so when it comes to creating abundance, the number one biggest mistake that people make when they're trying to create an abundance is they're energetically in scarcity or lack or wanting which is the experience of not having, right? Like you don't necessarily want what you have. You have what you have and you can be grateful for what you have, but you don't necessarily, you're not longing for it. You're not trying to get the thing that you have, right? So most of the time when it comes to creating abundance, especially around money, is we're trying to create abundance, but our energy is in lack and our thoughts are like wanting the exact amount of money that we don't have, right? Now, if you follow Abraham Hicks, she talks about the stick, right? So she says on one side of the stick is the thing that you want, and on the other side of the stick is the not having of the thing that you want. So where most people get jammed up around their abundance practices is they're going to be saying their affirmations, I am the eternal queen of abundance, but the experience that they're creating is their mind is like doing the lip service. But what's happening is that the experience, the body sensation that they're creating with these thoughts is worse, is discordant. It doesn't match, right? So if you've ever had the experience of saying your affirmations and literally just feeling like liar, liar, pants on fire, this is what I'm talking about. And that is just stop. Like if you're doing that, because you're getting your mind to do the activity, but the experience that you're creating is fear. It's that experience that you're creating is the exact thing probably where you are and the exact thing that you don't want, right? So we have to learn how to read the vibration in our body so that way we can tell, is my energy moving with my mind? And now in the next video, I'm going to explain some really easy practices that work for people who are just getting started on this. So like in time, once you're really practiced at moving your mind into different places, you can move your mind into places that you've never been before and create an experience of that in your body, and your mind's going to essentially stay out of the way a little bit. The rules, well, how are you going to do that? Well, how long is this going to take? Well, you don't know the right, that inner bullshit that will often like ruin the experience, right? A lot of times like our mind is like a little bit of a cock block. So that can, with experience, this happens. But at first we have to kind of meet our mind where it's at, which often means things like starting with something that is true enough, right? We're not taking our imagination way far out from where we are. We're kind of starting where we are. I want you to let your mind go down the rabbit hole of your regular thoughts around lack, right? Let yourself go and watch what happens to your body. So we're going to send our thoughts in the direction that we essentially do not want to go. And the reason that I would have you do that is so that way when you get there, your body's going to feel a certain kind of way. And then the way that my body feels right now is the vibration of lack or scarcity. Lack is usually just like I don't have, and scarcity is I don't have and I'm afraid about it, right? Like scarcity is, there's generally a fear response in scarcity where lack itself can be neutral, or it can feel a little bit more neutral, right? And so your mind is going to go to these places. And I just want you to be able to place what this feels like in your body, because this is going to be the information that you need for the rest of what I'm going to teach you in the series. And if you know that feeling, then also if you can start to place that vibration when your body is reading this signal and it's going to, feel bad, then you know that your body's in scarcity. And then that is a good indication for you to go outside, move your body, do some gratitude practices. And I want to point out here that scarcity is your brain keeping you alive. All right. And in one of my other videos, I have a whole class about how to work with yourself through scarcity, how to identify scarcity in the mind, how to work with scarcity in the body. So if I'm not going to go into that here, but that training is available on my YouTube channel. It's free. You're welcome to it. All right. So take your thoughts, and I just want you to write down like your regular rabbit hole, right? Like, well, I'm not going to have enough money. And if I don't have enough money, then I'm going to have to pay my bills late. My credit's going to go to shit. And I'm going to have to fire my team. And I'm not going to have enough money to make payroll, right? Like, now most of us have a rabbit hole of scarcity. Lots of people do. Maybe not most of us, but plenty of people do. Probably the people watching a video about how to create a more abundant life do, right? Because we're coming from that place. Now, what I want you to do here is let your mind wander for a minute down this rabbit hole, this familiar place, and then notice what happens in your body. So I notice when I'm in scarcity that I feel tense. I can feel my shoulders move up. I can feel like a heaviness in my chest and a contraction. All right, now I'm going to explain some other ways that my clients have described this sensation, so that way if you're new to moving your energy in your body and reading vibration in your body, you have some reference points. So sometimes my clients will say my solar plexus tenses up. Some people will feel a weight in their back or their shoulders, or a tension in their back and their shoulders. All right, so what we are gathering here is, so now we're taking our, like I just said, we're taking our thoughts, we're going in this direction on purpose, we're feeling what it feels like, okay? Now what I want you to do, and you might have to pause this video and set a timer for a few minutes, do that and write down things that you have already in your life that you love, things that you're grateful for, all right? And after you do it, and then I'll listen, we just went in this direction, which is downhill, a minute or two. So you may need to do a gratitude practice for another minute or two to come back to where we started. And then you want to go forward another couple minutes. All right. Now what's going to happen here is you're going to start to feel your body. When you think these thoughts long enough, your body releases different neurochemicals, right? So when you think the thoughts of scarcity, your body releases, holy shit, we're going to starve to death. And that feels real bad. That feels bad in the body. All right. Now, as you think the thoughts of gratitude and abundance, your body's like, oh, cool. We're safe. Everything's cool. It's the difference in the way that your brain creates chemistry that your body reads. All right. So from here, after you do this exercise, what I want you to do is notice, what does that feel like? A lot of my clients will say they feel warm, they feel fuzzy, they feel effervescent, right? And so we can start to place these two qualities of energy. Now, scarcity and abundance are big, qualities of energy. And so if you can kind of get a feel for each of these, the rest of what I'm going to teach you on how to cultivate this life of abundance is going to make way more sense. All right. Now, if you can't get there right now, come back to neutral. So maybe go do something else for a little bit, let your mind clear, and then just start with the abundance. Don't do the scarcity work. You probably already know what that feels like. And maybe set a timer for 10 minutes or 15 minutes. Now, depending on how much abundance or scarcity in your life and where you are in terms of your energetic development, this might take 15 minutes for you to be able to feel a difference. And if that's the case, then it's fine. All right. So then take notes on how each of these sensations in your body, what it feels like. So what's the sensation of scarcity feel like? What's the sensation of abundance feel like? All right. And in the next video, we're going to work on some beginner practices around havingness. All right. So I will see you in the next one.